What's going on, people? What is going on? You see what? Yeah, this was a test stream. So I did the test and I didn't take it down. So I see everybody was piling in. So it's not even going to be that long on here. It was just really trying to get a few things done. And yes, the love was still coming through. So let's just quickly go through what Nigel Farage and that said today. He's got a you see with these people, we've got Advance UK, we've got Reform UK, we've got the Tories, Lib Dems, Labour. All these people are talking UKIP talking points. All of them. If you just look at every time Nick Tanconi goes out and does something, these people come out with a whole new plan, and that whole new plan is taken off of the basis of how the people took it, right? We can do the test. We can go and tell him to have a big speech about something that none of these people have spoken about. You can guarantee within a few days, if it gets public approval, then yeah, they'll start doing it. Actually, let me just see where I'm streaming to, because I'm not even sure. Where are we streaming to? So we're doing it to X. All right, so we got the full. Have I cut myself? No, so we got the full bit here. Evening, afternoon. I see evening because we're an evening crew. We are an evening crew. Anyway, let's get into this. Let me get this up. Where is Nigel? He's got to be somewhere. What do you think? Who did any of you lot see it today? Did any of you lot see it? Wait, let me show you something as well. It was funny. It was funny. It really was. Because these people, this is what we got to understand as well. You got to realize that we've got one shot at this. That's it. Once people do not, I don't know if you heard that. When people do not do what they say, the trust in politics will be gone. So we got this chance where the Conservatives failed, Labour's failed, Lib Dems, they're just a clown show. So we've only got really Reform, Advance, and UKIP. And as the longest serving party, and the only party that's from 2 years ago is saying the same thing as to now. And that same thing is what everyone else is saying. You see, 2 years ago, I was on the hard right side, right? That's where I was. Danny, your views are they're a little bit hardcore. You want to shut the borders down for 5 years. Now I've got them same people saying that they want to shut the borders down for 10 years because people know this works. And then we've got charlatans like Reform to come in and say, well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to be a pressure valve. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the Iranian politics, and that's what they do. So we're going to do the same for that. And it worked, but it only worked until Tommy come out with United Kingdom. As you can see, all the people come away from that to unite the kingdom, and it kind of took away the power that he had, the monopoly that he had. And then we started asking questions, and then we realized that every Reform MP or councillor has really different views. So you could say, yeah, it's a broad church, but where is the collective thinking? Where is the one party, one people? And that sounds very Chinese, doesn't it? It sounds like, oh, Danny, you're going to go down to the communists. But listen, you need one voice, you need one party to do the things for the whole country. You can't have someone saying, well, actually, I don't agree with that, but I agree with you on this one, and then I agree with you with that one, and ask them to represent you on all things. It's not working. It's not going to be working out. Shifting sands, Danny. I'm in wait and see mode. See, double click to update. I don't know if you lot can see all this. This is what I was trying to test out, because I found this nice little it's a nice little software package, to be fair. I just want to see if it works out. Good to see everyone. Good to see it. Let me just get to this. What we waffling for? What are we going on? Let's go and see. Let's go and see Nigel Farage and his captor. Can somebody please? He needs help. He really does. He needs help. Here we go. Let's go and do this. Let's just listen to a bit of this, and then we will challenge what he's saying, because it's quite fun. But anyway, if you think that Zia Yusuf has no overall control of Advance UK, of Reform UK, then you are wrong. If you think that Zia Yusuf is going to
that are
be
necessary.
doing things for the people, then you have another thing coming. But let's just go and see what he's got to say. So, do we know? Let's just. I don't want to go through the whole lot. Let's listen.
And I do repeat the point that mass unskilled migration has driven, in many, many cases, the minimum wage to become the maximum wage.
Here we go. Let's just go to that bit first, right? So he says that he understands that the minimum wage has gone, because of immigration, has become the maximum wage. I said this when I think it was at the last UK conference, actually, where people are saying about the minimum wage. And I said, well, 10 years, 30 years ago, when there was no minimum wage, before Blair put it in, people got paid per job, whatever job it was. So, a surgeon is going to get paid more than a road sweeper, right? But then a road sweeper would generally get paid more than the shopkeeper or the shop worker, because even though they're both national minimum wage were jobs, the responsibilities were different. So everyone got paid per job, and that worked. And then Tony Blair wanted to bring in the national minimum wage, so then that was the minimum they were going to pay. You can't pay no less than this. So then people said, well, you know what? We're not going to pay no higher either. Right? So now you've got the situation where we've got foreign-born people, foreign imported people, and this is a direct example, who are driving HGVs, right? So they're driving for, let's just say, they're driving for Aldi, Lidl, Morrison's, one of them people, right? A food retailer, Sainsbury's. You're doing it in the nighttime. Nighttime driving is about £18 an hour. You're going to say that's fantastic. But if you look at the people who are working in the warehouse on the nighttime, they're getting paid £15, £16 an hour. So there's only a £2 or £3 difference, but the responsibility is massive. Listen, I can get done for murder if I run someone over in a HGV. Right? It might not be my fault. I might fell asleep, might have done anything. I can go to jail for 25 years. You can't really do that in Sainsbury's. I had to pay £3,500 to get my license. You just jump into Sainsbury's. And that's where the problem is. So these people understand what the problem is, right? But they don't want to do the solution, because we'll find out that these are just going to say, we're going to stop the migration and all that, and it's going to work itself out. No, you have to remove national minimum wage, because who's going to work for less than a £10 note an hour? Who's going to do it? And I know 0-hour contracts have made people believe that it can be done, but in general thing, that's a different situation. But for the British born person, the British working people, we're not going to get paid. We're not going to do more than £10 an hour. So if we stop immigration, we stop it completely. 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we stop it. And then you remove the national minimum wage. What do you get then? You get people having to employ British people. And then we say, do you know what? That £15 an hour, that's no good. You know that. I know that. I want a fair wage. They automatically have to bring it up. Automatically. And that's how you do it. But these people don't want to do that. Not old Zia. Let's get that back on screen. Right. Where are we?
Under our proposals, would pay go up? Yes, it would go up a bit. And I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Would our proposals help train British people?
It would go up a bit if you remove the national minimum wage, because he's already said it's a national maximum wage. So if you remove the national minimum wage, then it will automatically go up, because people will say, unless this is the only way that it wouldn't work, unless you didn't remigrate, mass deport, stop the 0-hour contracts through an act or a statute. If you didn't do any of that, it wouldn't work, because you'd have still these people in there who live 5 in a house, 10 in a room, whatever, and they'll be like, oh, we can do it for £5. So we've got to be sensible about it as well, because I know people are always wanting to put their 10 pence worth in and they come out with some nonsense. So of course it wouldn't work that way. But if you look at it on a normal everyday, you walk into your Sainsbury's, you walk into your Tesco's, you look at your road sweeper, you look at your lorry driver, you know that if there was no national minimum wage, people would then, they would have to, some will, they would get paid less than probably what they are now. But the job, is the job easy? Is the job, is it worth it? Your return on investment, your ROI. That's what you got to talk about.
People for jobs, it would. But let Zia reiterate how the visa scheme would work.
Let the Muslim reiterate how the visa scheme will work, because I don't want to talk about mass deportations. I don't want to talk about remigration. I don't want to talk about anything else, because I get it through the I get slated for it because I'm lying, right? That's what he's saying, Nigel Farage. Let's use Zia Yusuf, because everyone knows he's a liar anyway. He's on Takia, so he's allowed to, and he does it very, very easily.
Work for where there are genuine labour shortages.
Yeah. So firstly, again, the premise of your question is everybody who is here on ILR is working. And actually, as we've already pointed out, that the opposite is the truth. Now, there are people who are on ILR who are contributing significantly to this country. We're not disputing that. That's why we are introducing this 5-year renewable visa, albeit with a materially higher salary threshold, so that the people you're referring to, who are adding a lot of value to the country, and fiscally, on a net basis, will be able to stay. That's totally fine, and they will have a path to citizenship. With regards to, for example, care workers, I've already referred to this, they would be inside that ASSV category.
Wait there. Let's just go back very quickly.
The opposite is the truth. Now, there are people who are on ILR who are contributing.
In many, many cases, the governments help train British people for jobs. It would. But let Zia reiterate how the visa scheme would work for where there are genuine labour shortages.
Yeah. So firstly, again, the premise of your question is everybody who is here on ILR is working. And actually, as we've already pointed out, that the opposite is the truth. Now, there are...
So he's saying that there's a lot of people with the indefinite leave to remain, IRLR. They'll use these 3-letter DEI, BLM, ESG, ILR. So you already know, right, where this is coming from. The three-letter Marxist crew, right? So he said he already knows that a lot of people on this indefinite leave to remain are not working. So his next thing he should be saying would be, they were the ones that we will be deporting, because we're not going to have them on our books. He's spoken about benefits. He's spoken about how it's £230 billion they're going to save by doing things. But they talk these things at different times. But let's just listen.
There are people who are on ILR who are contributing significantly to this country.
They are contributing significantly to this country. They're the ones that he wants on the Britannia card. Remember, they sold the country off for £250,000 to Indians and Chinese and whoever else can do it. Whoever else wants his Britannia card and pays £250,000 for 5 years. Because we've got to remember, all these little things that they're bringing out, all these little documents, we have to remember, because they all conflict with each other. If you don't want people on IR, indefinite leave to remain, cool, that's fine. You have it's a 5-year turnaround where you've got to keep reapplying. That's fine. In principle, that's fine, right? Hang on a minute. The Britannia card, that's a 5-year you have to keep you got to keep applying for and paying the £250,000. Or it might be 10-year for the Britannia card. But even still, right? These things go hand in glove. So they don't want to get rid, mass deport, keep Britain for the British, what they're saying. All they're doing is saying, right, if you've got the right level of money, if you've got the right business, we'll let you come in. You just got to pay the government. You just got to pay the king. You remember when I say that we're living in a feudalist society? If you've got enough money to pay the king, you'll be safe.
Not disputing that. That's why we are introducing this 5-year renewable visa, albeit with a materially higher salary threshold, so that the people you're referring to, who are adding a lot of value to the country, and fiscally, on a net basis, will be able to stay. That's totally fine, and they will have a path to citizenship.
That's fine, and they all will have a path to citizenship. Come on, chat. I don't have to break this down too much, do I? You know what's going on. You can see what this reform government is trying to do. They are trying to, so we're clear, import rich people to buy up the land, to set up the business. You've got to know feudalism as well. To set up the land, to buy the businesses, to then give their services to the peasant British people. Because what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, we kicked out all the people that would have done the jobs for that price. And it was more jobs than we thought about. And you wanted British jobs for British people. So this is on you now. But what these people have done and what they're planning on doing is creating it so they and their cartels and their families and their lineages who have all the businesses, who are buying up all the land, who are buying up all the houses, they just keep receiving the money. They're receiving the rent. And the working class would have then chucked themselves over this kind of, the middle working class. The plumber who has a very good job now, who probably owns his house. I'll say they're like the upper working class, the middle working class people. They want all of these people because we're knocking on their door. They want all these people just to get back down to working like a serf. I'm telling you.
With regards to, for example, care workers, I already referred to this, they would be inside that ASSV category, acute skills shortage visa. But we want to emphasize, it will be a finite number, it will be capped, it will not be open to abuse, and to the degree that employers benefit from that visa, they will have to fund a program to train British workers. I want to reiterate, the fact that this does...
Crazy Lady Jane, good to see you. I was going to say something. I've forgotten it now. I did have a question. I'll remember it.
Doesn't happen currently is the reason why we have had open borders now for so many years. We are giving business... Look, I want to make the other point too, which is, look, if we're serious about saying we're going to cut net immigration to zero, we're going to embark on deporting people who are here illegally, we're going to stop the abuse of our welfare system, yes, there will be some businesses who do have to pay more for that labour. There are 6.5 million British people on universal credit, which is primarily an out-of-work benefit. And
it's an out-of-work benefit. That's a lie right there. Well, it should be an out-of-work benefit, or it shouldn't even be there. I think, what's that, job seekers allowance or something like that? They've all just put it all into like one benefits. But I was looking somewhere. Where was it? It was when Advance UK, what's his name? What's his real name? Ben, because it's not Ben, is it? Ben Habib, that's it. Ben Habib. He was talking about something about it. And it was about universal credit, right? And I think universal credit is supposed to be like job seekers allowance or whatever. But now it's kind of turned into, you remember that thing you used to get in the Labour days, working tax credit, where you pay your tax back or something like that, because basically you weren't getting paid enough. So I'm under the impression that it's not an out of work benefit. Well, it is, but it's also like a top up because you're not getting paid enough. And that there, if I'm right, I might be wrong. And if that is, let me know, chat. And if it is a top up, then the thing is very simple. People are getting paid too little. You shouldn't need the government to be topping up these private businesses. This is again where the national minimum wage comes in, because it shouldn't be the minimum. It should be whatever the job's worth. Some jobs might be rubbish, right? Absolute shit. But the facilities around it is decent. The benefits it's got is decent. It's got free gym membership. You can go down and take the kids down to the swimming pool. You can have 10% off Lidl or Aldi or whatever. You got all these benefits, right? But we're gonna do that, and we're gonna be averaging on the hourly wage. People would take that hand over fist over someone giving you nothing else, and £15 an hour, £20 an hour. This is where it comes, and that's what they don't want to do.
Only a third of the British people who are on benefits are actively looking for work. Now, we're not going to claim this is some super simple problem to solve, but we are deadly serious about solving it, and it will never be solved if there is a tap for unlimited low-skilled immigration.
Simeon Brown, Channel 4 News.
Many of the people who took part in the protests a few weeks ago to unite the United Kingdom said that...
Here comes. I love this one. I've not heard it, but I love it already because we was on Gogglebox. Did you understand that? Actually, I think I might. If I got it, let me see if I've got it. I haven't really got the time, to be fair. I've only got like 10 minutes. I'll do it tonight, though. If I do a stream tonight, which will be a proper one, this was the test. In case everyone's thinking, hang on a minute, this is all over the place. This was the test, but it didn't click over properly on YouTube. I didn't use the YouTube side of it. It didn't click over properly, and it still stayed as active. And there's people waiting, so I thought I'll just jump on. But the test was beautiful. It absolutely worked very, very well. And do you know what else? One thing as well I'm going to say while I'm talking about testing and I'm talking about things, right? Is yesterday Charlie Kirk's funeral. God bless his soul. Yesterday. There's a lot of streamers out there who had their videos, their streams, their stuff. They were doing it during the funeral, right? These people, weeks before, days before, have been talking all about Charlie Kirk. Oh, we love him. Oh, yeah, we love this, because they want to be on that kind of bandwagon. Do you think any of them people paid respect at the time when they're streaming and the memorial service was going on? Not one of them. Not one of them. Anyway, that's another thing.
Their beef was not with people who were here for legal purposes. They said that if you came here and you
could just tell who this guy is, can't you? You can just tell what he looks like. He's DEI for Channel 4. He's a DEI journalist. Right, we'll go back to the beginning of this one.
Many of the people who took part in the protests a few weeks ago to unite the United Kingdom said that their beef was not with people who were here for legal purposes. They said that if you came here and you were working and you were contributing, that was fine for them. Does this policy almost betray British values in the sense of fairness? And fundamentally, has there been an assessment of the cost? Many people on indefinite leave, they are working, they are contributing, they are running businesses. And so has there been a factoring of what impact this could have on those people? And ultimately, does this also set up potentially a kind of Windrush scandal type fiasco, especially when you consider how integrated many of those people really are? They're in marriages, they're in friendships, they're colleagues of people. So this policy has a potential to not only unsettle deep social fabrics, but also have a huge economic impact.
Yeah, I mean, look, the reason that people will answer that at the march or wherever else it may be, and it goes back to the first question that we had today, is there's been no debate on this, there's been no facts. If people are coming here working, contributing, obeying the law, not bringing dependents, not using the welfare system, then people won't have any objections because we're a fair-minded country. What they don't know, because no one's ever told them, is over half of those that come don't work and will never, ever work and are a direct drain on the taxes that they themselves pay when they get up in the morning and go to work. And we're not against skilled immigration into Britain. In fact, Zia's said, of course, we want this. We want people coming in. We want bright people coming in. We want those that will contribute to our society. We will have lower skilled people on visas where there are genuine shortages in the market. We've not had the debate. And I repeat the point. For 20 years, I was told, shut up and go away, because it's good for the economy. And now we can see, not only is there a massive welfare.
Right. I just want to get it there. I want to stop it there. I want to let's hide that there. Let's go to this one, right? Because what he just said there has contradicted everything about that. He wants to get rid of people. He wants to make sure that everyone leaves the country. This is what he's trying to get you to believe. He's going to mass deport. He's going to remigrate, and he's going to make sure that the legal migration, which is out of control, right? Let's not make any let's not defend that at all, because it is out of control. But what he's trying to say is, we're gonna kick them all out. We're gonna stop the visas. We're gonna do this, that, and the other. And all he's gonna be doing is making sure that these people pay more. That's it. They're gonna come in and pay more, or they're gonna be part of his crew, his Britannia card specialists. But he's not gonna stop the people coming in. He's not going to be making sure that British jobs are for British people. British houses are for British families. We are first on the queue for our dentists, our doctors, our hospital appointments, our surgeries. We are top of the list for everything. We have preferable rates. I've just seen one down here. And yeah, okay. I don't know what Wallace is watching, but yeah, it must be something different. Anyway, let's get back to it. Send invite. Oh, this ain't even about us. But where is it gone? Where's it gone? Here, right? Because this is important. Read this, people. People on the basic minimum wage are the poor of society, because they do not get free prescriptions and stuff like that. And the housing benefit is very limited. And if they have a mortgage, they can't get help. So essentially that, right? So he's going to be bringing in more people who are going to be on a Britannia card, who are going to be paying to get in, who are going to be owning businesses and all that kind of stuff, right? And he understands that the national minimum wage is basically the top of the wage you're going to get. And he's not doing anything to stop that apart from import more people. Because if you import more people and you keep the minimum wage quite high, then it's all right for them when they go back home or when they send money home. It's fine for them. But what about this one? What about the British people? They've not spoken about how this is going to affect the British people, because this is right. If he's going to do anything, if any political party, and I would put this to UKIP as well, if any party wants to free up the people, they need to lower their taxes, and they need to make sure that if you're going to have this minimum wage, that things like what Christine Mary is saying, we get the free prescriptions. Scotland do, Wales do, we pay for that. But we ourselves have got to pay, 20 quid for a prescription? If they, the dentist, we can't get onto the dentist, we can't get doctors. All these things is what he should be saying, because he's talking about removing the people who are a drain on the society. So there's 230 billion pounds that we're going to save. How's it going to work out? Because he hasn't got it. He just wants to do some sound bites. And Zia Yusuf, he knows what he's doing. Zia Yusuf knows what he's doing, and soon he's going to be taking control of it, because that should be Dr. David Ball. Pretty damn sure. But anyway, people, I think we're going to do something later on tonight. I'm not sure, but now is the time to go. The stream has been good for testing. Might not have been good for you, but my things here are very, very good. So it works out well. It's showing that the video's coming through good. The software is actually all right. It's actually very, very good. I didn't bring anyone on. I didn't see Dupes there. She was there at the beginning, but that was like ages ago. That's all I need to really test now, is bring people on. And I brought loads of new traffic to Dupes, but she's showing her colours. I don't know what's going on with Cheeky, but anyway, people, thanks for watching. If we come up tonight, it'll be 10:30, and it will be a proper one. Donna, you are a legend. Every time we stream, you're on. Take care of yourself. Thank you. And I think there's an end screen. Not sure.